Hey guys, today we're looking at 2.4, which is all about solving multi-step inequalities. The good news is for this, it's not really a new process. It's just adding in multiple of those steps that we did in 2.2 and 2.3 together in the same problem. So I'm just going to jump right into it. When we have problems like these where we're asked to solve our inequality and then graph them, you just have to follow the same order of operation rules that we followed back in chapter 1. So anything that has your variable attached to it, I want to keep that on the side of my inequality and move anything that doesn't have that attached to it onto the other side. So here I'm going to start with number 1 by subtracting 9 from both sides because that doesn't have x attached to it. That leaves me with 2/3 x is less than -8. And now, because I've got a fraction out in front of my x value, I can handle this a couple of different ways. My suggestion would be multiplying by the reciprocal. So times 3/2 instead of 2/3. That'll cancel it out and leave us with x on the left side. You can see my inequality is going to stay the same because I'm multiplying by a positive number. And now if I reduce this, I end up with -12 for my x value being less than that. So on my number line, -12, -11, -10, -13, -14. It's just less than, so it's going to be an open circle there, and then pointing to the left. Okay, for number 2, same idea here. Anything that doesn't have my variable involved in it, I'm going to start with that first. So I'm going to add 4 on both sides. n/3 is greater than or equal to, that's going to be a -4. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 3 on both sides to get my my n by itself. Again, I'm multiplying by a positive number, so even though my solution is negative, because what I multiplied by was positive, it stays the same direction for my inequality. So once again, I've got -12, -11, -10, -13, -14. This time it's going to be a closed circle at 12 because it was or equal to, and my inequality direction is going to be to the right because it is a greater than symbol. My arrow points to the right because my inequality pointed to the right. Okay. Here with number 3, I've got a couple of different things. We've got decimals to work with. But my process is still the same. I'm still going to get my x by itself first, so I'm going to start by adding 4.5 on both sides to get my x term by itself. That gives me -3x is greater than 9. Here, to get my x value by itself, I'm going to go ahead and divide by -3. Now when I do that, because the number that I divided by was negative, I do have to flip the direction of my inequality. So now it's going to become a less than -3 instead of greater than 9. Because here I just had to flip that direction. So now again, -3, -2, -1, -4, -5. This is going to be an open circle, and it's a less than, so it's pointing to the left, or my inequality symbol is pointing to the left. Okay. This next section is what I call challenge problems. It's really just having to do a little bit of work before we can get our x value by itself or our variable by itself. But the same way I would handle it last chapter is what I'm going to do now. I see parentheses. I'm going to start by distributing this -3 into my parenthesis. -3x plus 12 is less than 24. And now I continue like I did before. I'm going to start by subtracting 12 on both sides. -3x is less than 12. And then when I divide by -3, once again, I have to flip the direction of my inequality, and I get x is greater than -4. So -4, -3, -2, -5, -6 on my number line, open circle, greater than, so to the right. Okay. For number 2 in my challenge section, this one, I've got multiple different things on the same side of my inequality that can be collected together. Now this is something that a lot of you guys made a mistake on the chapter 1 test, where if my variables or my numbers are on the same side of my equation, or in this case the inequality, I don't do the inverse operations, I just collect up those terms together. So here 5p and -7p is a total of -2p, +8 and -4 is a total of +4, is still greater than 10. And then from here, just like before, I'm going to isolate my variable term first. So I'm subtracting 4, so negative 2p is greater than 6. And then I divide by my coefficient. This one is a negative, so my inequality flips directions, and I end up with p is less than negative 3. So negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, negative 4, negative 5. It's going to be an open circle at negative 3 because it was just less than, and less than goes to the left. And that's pretty much it for the regular equation, or the inequality solving process. The only other thing I want to do together here is a couple of word problems, some application problems. So just so you guys get a feel for what those look like and being able to write those and solve those. So for part A, we've got a music club charges 75 cents per song download plus a membership fee of $5.70. If Dan can spend at most $15, what's the greatest number of songs that can be downloaded? So again, these are dated questions, or dated issues, because you guys just use Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever you're using, and you don't have to pay per song like we used to. But in this case, let's pretend like it is. So we know that we get charged 75 cents per song. So I was using S to represent songs. And there's a membership fee of $5.70. Now what we just wrote there is the total cost of our song situation. And if Dan has at most $15, we know that what we spend has to be less than or equal to 15. Because when we go through and do this, we could have exactly $15 that we spend, but the amount that we spend can only be less than 15. It can't be greater than 15. And then just like before, we're going to go through and solve this. So I'm going to subtract 5.70 or 570 from each side. 0.75 times our number of songs is less than or equal to 9.3. Again, use a calculator. And then here I'm going to divide, both sides by 0.75. 0.75. So I get S is less than or equal to 12.4. Now, be careful because that is solved correctly. S is less than or equal to 12.4. That is the exact number of songs that Dan could download and spend exactly $15. But we know in reality we can't download 0.4 of a song. So when we give our answer, we have to make sure that we use our brain and look at the situation. The question is, what is the greatest number of songs that Dan can download? Well, in this case, Dan can download only 12 songs. As soon as he hits that 13th song, he's over his budget, so 12 is the most number that he can do. Okay. For the last one, a phone plan charges 20 cents per text message plus a monthly fee of $42.50. Lynn can spend at most $50. Write an inequality for the number of texts that Lynn can send. So again, very similar structure-wise because we're charged 0.20 cents per text. And then we know there's also a flat fee of $42.50. And again, if we have a budget, we're happy being exactly what our budget is. In this case, her budget is, or Lynn, it could be either way. Maybe Lin-Manuel Miranda. Maybe he has a budget of $50. So we could be exactly $50, or we could spend less than our budget. Those are our only two options. We can't be more than our budget. It has to be less than or equal to. So to solve this one, same general process. I'm going to start by moving anything that does not have t attached to it, since that's what I'm solving for. So here when I do that, 0.2t is less than or equal to 7.5. And when I divide by 0.2 on both sides, I don't have to flip the direction because it's a positive 0.2. I end up with 37.5. And once again, I can't send half a text. I can only send the whole number of texts. But I guess in this case, no, it didn't ask us what's the greatest number of texts that Lynn can send. It just says write an inequality for the number of texts that Lynn can send. So I would be happy just having this. T is less than or equal to 37.5. I know I went through those a little bit quickly, and I just didn't really explain as many steps as I usually did. But once again, feel free to watch this multiple times, rewind it, slow it down if you need to on YouTube. You guys know you can mess with the playback speed and let me talk slower so that you could actually comprehend what I'm saying. And then, as always, if you're confused on stuff, if you've gone through and watched the video and you're still not sure on what's going on, I am here. I will answer any questions you guys have. Just reach out to me and let me know that you need some help. That's all I got for you guys today, so have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys soon.